Hello again, folks. DJ here again. Welcome to my channel. It's always a pleasure to have you in my channel. Please subscribe to keep me going. If you don't subscribe, then these videos will cease to exist. So please, it doesn't cost you a penny, doesn't cost you a cent, doesn't even cost you $1 or a rupee. It's totally free. So don't be frightened. Press the subscribe button, like what you read, what you hear, and also make your comments. What I'm going to talk about is, are we in Britain living under a cloud of shame for what we once were? Are we apologetic for our past? Why are we allowing the erosion of standards once bestowed upon us by great people who were willing to stand up and even die for our liberties and our moral right? Why are our youth pulling down statues of our great heroes of the past, such as William Wilberforce, the British anti-slavery abolisher of slavery in all of Britain, the first country to abolish slavery? Why are we pulling down and removing our great defenders, such as Sir Francis Drake, who fought the Spanish Armada, or Horatio Nelson, or Winston Churchill, who was our great hero during the Second World War, so that we didn't fall under the rule of Nazi Hitler. Not Nazi Hitler. Why are our elected governments put into positions of authority by the British people, knowing, kowtowing to minorities demanding Sharia courts, euthanasia, acceptance of men parading as women, being allowed to win medals in sports, women's sports, young girl sports, vulnerable young girls being exposed to, in single spaces, to men dressed as women, undressing in front of them and watching them undress in changing rooms, in sports facilities, and using the same toilet. Those single spaces were made to protect vulnerable young ladies from sexual predators, and we've allowed men to dress up and say, I'm a woman. No, I know I've got the men's male genitalia, but it still makes me a woman. I don't have a uterus, I have a penis, but I'm a woman. It's nonsense. Why are our National Health Service and the doctors employed within it taken to call assisted dying and abortions of an unborn child a health service? How is it health service to kill someone? That's not health service. What happened to the oath that doctors used to take once held dear to every medical practitioner to preserve life? And now they are involved in killing, murdering unborn, and assisting the dying by injecting them or starving them to death. Elderly people and disabled people who have probably been coerced by making them feel that they're unworthy because they're no longer contributing to society by her job. There are many people on Social Security, Universal Credit I believe it's called, where they're not working. Should we put them to death because they're not working? It's totally wrong. Yet we have a medical profession who took an oath to preserve life, who are taking life. And it's legal. It's been made legal by our elected governments. What happened to the right of freedom of speech? Where did political correctness come from that bans such words as mother? I'm not kidding. An expectant mother, to be replaced with George Orwellian newspeak, where an expectant mother becomes an expectant person. Show me an expectant person, and I'll show you an expectant mother. It is nonsense which we have furthered and propagated in Britain today. The words he and she, her and him, are now a mixture of incomprehensible letters. Male and female and only natural biological definitions have given way to over 100 different categories according to, but not biological facts, but incomprehensible feelings, including the number of boys of school age thinking they're a dinosaur, a stallion, and girls thinking they're pussycats. And they're being humoured in their psychotic illusions. Where are we going when we are seeing over 800 recorded by the police, by the British police, non-hate crimes for writing or saying hurty words? In the USA, the populace have stood up and said enough is enough. They've voted in a President, Donald J. Trump, to rip it all out and reclaim common sense. He's facing an uphill battle against the proponents of the left-wing socialist propaganda, but in Britain we do not have a leader who will put a stop to all this evil nonsense. There are voices that are being heard crying out in a wilderness of a leftist fog. But those voices are being drowned out by the influences that are allowed as a public to take over our education system, our health systems, our political systems, our entertainment provision, and the minds of our young. We have placed them ourselves in a position where there has to be a long and hard fight back to sanity, or we'll fall even further into a world that George Orwell foresaw back in 1945 when he published his novel 1984 as a warning to all people. The warnings keep coming. There are voices in our society, in Britain and in America, and even in Europe, yes, the Western world. I've heard the voices sounding loudly in Australia and New Zealand, Canada, but they're overshadowed by left-wing governments and even middle-of-the-road governments who have bought into this political correctness. A political correctness that started off with this banning of words. When I was at school, and it's been a long time, but I remember the teacher with the white chalk writing on a blackboard. But we were told, blackboards, you can't call it a blackboard, that's racist. How on earth is a board that's black racist if you say it's black? But the tyres on my car are black. It's not racist to say my tyres on my car are black. My wife was black. My wife was from Jamaica. A wonderful woman. She laughed and then she cried at such expressions that they could be made illegal. Do you know, this has just come to mind. My wife went out and bought, we had my son in 1977, and she went out and she bought, without my knowledge, she bought him a doll. He was a soft rag doll. He was a gollywog. Yes, my black wife bought my son a gollywog with the big smile and the fuzzy hair, and she was told, it's racist. And she said, why? It's a doll. It's a soft doll that a baby can play with and hold. That is common sense. That is common sense. Not the nonsense that gollywogs were banned. Golly meant joy, happiness, and wog was Western Oriental gentleman. So the doll was a happy Western Oriental gentleman. No racism intended at all. my wife saw through it all, and she proudly would take my son out in his pram and then his pushchair when he got a little older, holding that doll. Not racist, but nonsense spouted by left-wing, far left-wing, communist, socialist people looking for excuses. And they've wrecked our country with 100 now genders, when everybody knows there's only 2 genders. There's male and there's female. It's biologically proven there is male and female. Any other is nonsense. The fact that you cannot call some people he, people have been taken to court, police have visited them because they've called a man he, because the man said, I'm a woman. No, you're not. If you've got a penis, you're a male, and if you've got a uterus and a vagina, you're a female. There are no other in-betweens. So that is what I'm going to say. I'm looking forward to your comments. I know not everybody's going to agree. Be polite when you comment, and do comment though, and press that like button, and definitely press the subscribe button so that I can continue with further bulletins. So until the next bulletin, and they're coming fast and furious, there's so much going on in this world that it takes my breath away, that I want to speak about them and I want you to listen to them. So subscribe and I'll be able to continue. So until the next one, bye for now.